Well, let's first things first, delete this. How's everyone doing tonight? Then I'll get started with my little ODDY. I think that is well, this is going to be a fun episode. I'm going to tell you that much. Thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. This is going to be a fun episode. And I'm going to apologize. I see that there's some things that I cannot get rid of. Let me put that in. All right. Just pretend that I just came in. Okay. Last week's episode, I did a feature on a segment on 8-Bit Christmas. And that, yeah, you won't see him for just a couple of moments, hopefully. There's only one right now. Last week, I did a segment on 8-Bit Christmas, the movie that is coming out here in November. And it got me thinking. I always talk about community. I always talk about celebrating our stories. 8-Bit Christmas, I was showing that trailer to a lot of people, and it got me thinking, what has been my 8-bit journey with the NES, and in particular, Super Mario Brothers series of games, going from the 8-bit to the 16-bit, and all the way up to where we are today. Now, that is a whole series of episodes, but I thought I would start it with the first few games in the series from 8 to 16-bit in this episode. In this episode of Delve Live, we are going to talk about Tomer's Odyssey, my memories of the Super Mario series, the 8-bit Nintendo, and how it shaped my childhood and the great memories that I have. And in this episode, I really would like the viewers, the community, to comment on what their memories were as we go through the different games. It is now time to delve. Super Mario Live. Got to stay hydrated for this one. And welcome everyone to an episode of Delve Live. As I get my gaming headset on, I'm Tom Morris. Delve, we're celebrating everything pop culture, from video games to comic books to magazines to collectibles. Anything that is new in pop culture, we're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it. We're going to have a lot of fun. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe on our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And definitely share these videos if you like them. And let's build the community and just have great discussions and talk about everything pop culture. Now, like I was saying, this last episode where I talked about 8-Bit Christmas, I was showing the trailer to a lot of people, and it kind of started to get me to think, what is my 8-bit Christmas? What are my memories growing up about the Nintendo Entertainment System? And in particular, if we're going to talk about Nintendo Entertainment System, let's talk about the series that started it all. Let's talk about Super Mario Brothers. Let's celebrate this in 2020 was the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. And there was a lot of celebration, games coming out, reminiscing. This episode, let's talk about the community, and let's kind of just go in there and talk about Super Mario Brothers. 1, 2, and 3 in Super Mario World is probably what we'll have time for. I'll do some gameplay footage, but to be honest with you, this isn't about gameplay. It's about celebrating the community. So definitely in the comments, if you can hear me and you have great memories of Super Mario Brothers, even the games, the culture, the books, the collectibles, just type in Mario in the comments, because I'm going to be throwing a lot of comments into the chat or live this week, and we're just going to celebrate everything Super Mario. So with that, let me pull up. I've got for reference here, and you know what? It's going to look awkward. So let me do a switch around. Mario. Thank you, Jeremy Holder. There we go. I'm going to switch that around. I actually, I'm going to read a lot of information just for context off of Super Mario's site, off of Nintendo's. Let me pull it up here. Official home of Super Mario home. There we go. But for context, I am going to talk a lot about the history, some general history about the game. Then I'm going to talk about my recollections. And what better way to do that than Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System? Details. I'm going to read this. It was released in 1985. Okay, Aunt Jean, you never really got into Mario. I'm going to put something up here. Oh, not that one. Okay, you never really got into Mario. I can appreciate that. Let's talk about with Mario. Let us talk about maybe what you remember seeing your favorite nephew play, or maybe you're watching people play and just kind of seeing the impact around you when it comes to these style of games. So even though you may not have played them, you saw a lot of people play them. You probably heard your nephews and nieces talk about them and your sons talk about these games just around it. Kind of like how it's been in pop culture, because there was actually a video that I saw someone put, and they were playing famous music. As soon as the dun, 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 everyone goes, Super Mario Brothers. That is how ingrained it has been into our pop culture. And I think that's pretty awesome. So rediscover Mario and Luigi in their first great adventure. One day, the Mushroom Kingdom was invaded by the Koopas, a tribe of turtles famous for their black magic. The quiet, peace-loving mushroom people were turned into stones, bricks, and even plants. And the kingdom fell into ruin. The only one who can undo the magic spell is Princess Toadstool, the daughter of the Mushroom King. Unfortunately, she is in the hands of the evil King Bowser. Mario learns of the Mushroom People's flight and sets out to free the Mushroom Princess from the Koopas and restore the fallen kingdom. Jump, kick shells, and throw fireballs through 8 action-packed worlds in this iconic NES classic. All right. This was a game that a lot of kids got with, back in the day when we did get a Nintendo Entertainment System, we got a Nintendo Entertainment System control deck. It had 2 controllers and a packing game. A lot of people got these for Christmas. I want to say 86. I'm trying to remember, trying to think of, was it 86 or 87 when I first got my NES? I got to do a little bit more research, but I think it was 1987 Christmas or 86 Christmas. I'm trying to think. It was one of those. And playing with the Nintendo, playing with Nintendo Super Mario Brothers was a lot of fun. Having friends over, trying to figure out all this new adventure, which was amazing. I'm just going to pop it in. I'm going to turn up the volume a little bit. Normally, I would do a green screen, but I really don't want to play too much. I'll let this go in the demo track mode. You remember that first time that you did get into the Super Mario and you played it and you're going, wow, there's so many different levels. Let me see what my skills are. Start button. Jeremy Holder, help me out here in the comments. Tell me what it is so I can get rid of the stuff on the bottom. Just as you were playing these games, you were finding all this interaction. How many of you remember when that first time you played, you took a jump, you took the controller, and you moved it? Multiple points. Or maybe that first time you were jumping around and you found a hidden item. Oh, wow. Or the first time we had a power-up and a fireball where we could shoot fireballs into the game. And using the fireballs to knock out your enemies. Because if you think about it, back in the days, games were about high scores. It was how far and how much you could score in a limited amount of time. This one added the sense of fast-paced adventure. Finding out you can get so many points for jumping on the flagpole, or if you spent a lot of time, you found out, oh, maybe there's fireworks. The first time you went down this pipe, or I should say the first time I went down this pipe, and I was amazed at, oh my gosh, it's a different level. Had different music. Let me turn that down so I'm not overwhelming people with two things at once. What's amazing is every time you really were rewarded for your sense of accomplishment, exploration, just skipping over entire sections. And dying because you just got too excited and you wanted to see how far you can go. Oh, look, a hidden area. Sometimes when I got this game, and you had friends over, just watching their skill levels of doing things, of being able to... I wasn't going to take the warp zone, but I guess it really doesn't matter, because I died. Like I said, this is a reminiscing episode. I didn't say that this was going to be a great episode of skill. This is more fondly remembering these games. I'm going to go to Super Mario Brothers 2 in a minute. Also, a big part of the Super Mario series, to me, the interaction of when this Mario Mania hit, Nintendo Mania hit, having the abilities to read about all the hints in the official Nintendo guides. We had the official Nintendo newsletters, Nintendo Power, which we'll talk about a little bit with a different game here in a moment. the official, it was a book, official Nintendo Player's Guide. Okay, game over. Saw that screen a lot growing up. But at each time you played a little bit more, you got better. We talked with our friends. We heard when they got to level 2 or all the secrets that they found, warp zones, how to get extra lives, having video game competitions to see who could get the farthest, the fastest. That really ignited this whole love of Mario and Nintendo. Super Mario was that first building block, and also Zelda was the other building block in that series. Jeremy Holder, what did you put into the comments here? You put, let me add this to the broadcast. I'm a big Mario fan. Like, I have fun childhood memories. Super Mario Brothers was the second game I beat after Sonic the Hedgehog. And I remember spending hundreds of hours in Super Mario Brothers 3. But I think I spent the most time in Super Mario World. Awesome. Awesome. Josh, I like this one. We're definitely, I feel you here. I feel you here. I should have kept a tally of how many game over screens I got in every game as a kid. Here's the thing with that. Every game over screen that we got, we had another memory of how not to do the game. Or we kept trial and error. This game really rewarded you for experimenting. Sometimes you did, sometimes you didn't, but we kept on trying, and that is the cool thing. Kept on trying, that sense of accomplishment. We were rewarded for trying new things and succeeded. Yeah, we saw a lot of game overs, but wasn't it fun? One more time, just push through one more level. That's what Super Mario Brothers was I can get a little bit farther this time. I know the enemies. I want to get to the castle. And who can remember that first time? I know when I got to 1-4 and I beat Koopa, but only now we know that it wasn't Koopa. Sorry, thank you, Mario, but our princess was in another castle. Oh, that was something. But I tell you what, we kept on going. Mario took over my childhood, the Nintendo took over my childhood, and we had to wait a bit for the sequel. And I got to remember how to get out of the game selection. Now, Super Mario Brothers 2. I'm gonna mute. Super Mario Brothers 2 came to the United States. It was released around the Christmas. Actually, let me pull up some information on my Super Mario history. Come on, Mario, let us load. See the timeline. And a lot of this, for the information for some of this stuff, I'm going to get 1988. Super Mario Brothers 2 released October 9th, 1988. Okay. Let me read the story from the original instruction booklet. One evening, Mario had a strange dream. He dreamt of a long, long stairway leading up to a door. As soon as the door opened, he was confronted with a world he had never seen spreading out as far as the eyes could see. When he strained his ears to listen, he heard a faint voice saying, "Welcome to Subcon, the land of dreams. We have been cursed by Wart and are completely under his evil spell. We have been awaiting your arrival. Please defeat Wart and return Subcon to its natural state. The curse Wart has put on you in this evil real world will not have any effect upon you here. Remember, Wart hates vegetables. Please help." At the same time this was heard, a bolt of lightning flashed before Mario's eyes. Stunned, Mario lost his footing and tumbled upside down. He awoke with a start to find himself sitting up in his bed. To clear his head, Mario talked to Luigi, Toad, and Princess Peach about the strange dream he had. They decided to go to a nearby mountain for a picnic. After arriving at the picnic area and looking at the scenery, they sent a small cave nearby, when they enter this cave, to their great surprise, there's a stairway leading up, up, and up. It's actually like the one Mario saw in his dream. They all walk together up the stairs and at the top find a door just like the one in Mario's dream. When Mario and his friends, in fear, open the door, to their surprise, the world that he saw in his dream spread out before him. History about Super Mario Bros. 2. This is common knowledge now, but back in the day when this came out, this is actually not a Super Mario Brothers game. What do I mean by that? Well, when Mario Mania hit the Nintendo Entertainment System, we actually got there was actually another one. Let me see if it's on the select screen here. Okay. I'll play this a little bit and then I'll explain what I got. But this game, Super Mario Bros. 2, I got for Christmas. And this was everyone's Christmas, the #1 game that people wanted for Christmas. That and Zelda 2 that was coming out. But you already see what I'm talking about. This was a different take on the Mario series. Gone are the coins that we're collecting, the shells. What are these enemies? Why are we not, where are the bricks? It has a different graphic style, different sounds. Well, what if I told you that this was originally meant a different game in Japan called Doki Doki Panic, and this was brought over to the United States as Super Mario Bros. 2. And why was that? Well, in game tests, in Japan, Super Mario Bros. 2 came out and it was exactly like Super Mario Bros. 1. It was, if you want to call it a deluxe edition, you know, there's been a lot of stories written about that, so I don't want to rehash stuff, but from reading this, Doki Doki Panic was created in celebration of a Japanese festival, and they wanted to tie in with Nintendo. So this game, all original characters, it was designed with different characters in the Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Princess Toadstool. They were different characters. When the Nintendo games, when the Japanese sent Nintendo of America over the Super Mario Bros. 2, there was playing it, and I forget, Howard and Nestor, I think it was Howard Phillips, was playing the game. He was really big in Nintendo, and he just wasn't having fun with Super Mario Bros. 2. And this was very critical because after the video game crashed in North America and Nintendo came back, they were very careful to make sure that the games that they brought over to the United States were fun, were easily accessible, and children could play them without being upset because they were too difficult. The Super Mario Bros. 2 game in Japan was very difficult. It was like an expert version of Super Mario Bros. 1, and plus also was brought on what they call the Famicom Disk System. So couple all that, in the bottom line, it didn't represent a change in graphics. It was the same look as the Super Mario Bros. 1, and they felt that this wouldn't be a fun game for kids to play, and especially as a Christmas time title, a gift, kids would be disappointed. So there was kind of like a edict from Nintendo of America, we need a game that will appeal to the kids while still having that Super Mario Brothers feel. They did some research. They brought out Doki Doki Panic in Japan. They sent it over to Nintendo of America saying, hey, if we did some changed the characters and added a few things. Would you think the kids would enjoy this as Super Mario Brothers 2? Yes, and the rest is history. And that is why we see different characters in Super Mario Brothers 2, because fundamentally, it's a different game. But when it was created, they used a lot of Mario influence. The same team that developed Super Mario Brothers developed Doki Doki Panic, and Shigeru Miyamoto actually had a hand in developing some of this game. So you can feel, even before it became Super Mario Brothers 2 in the USA, there was a lot of feeling already there. When we got it, when I played it, we didn't know the difference. We didn't have the internet. Magazines didn't really talk about it. We just had a lot of fun playing this game because it was different, but it still had that Mario feel. It still had those characters. That's what it was important to us. Opening it up on Christmas Day, reading that story, playing with the different characters that each had different, they controlled different. It didn't matter because it was still fun and it was still Mario. Let me play a little bit more and then we'll get. So if anyone's remember, especially when we got that free issue of Nintendo Power with that clay diorama on the cover with Mario and Wart, and just seeing these new graphics and how colorful they were for the time. Doing little things like that super jump. Everything was just awesome to play this game during Christmas break. Finding all the hidden stuff. Still having the Mario music. And there's so many different ways to go in this game. Though even before this was reskinned as a Mario game, you can still die. Let me turn on the music. Apologize for not having that up. It'll be in the replay, I know that much. So I can't get the regular jump, gotta do a power jump. And just learning about new timing that you had to do. Hidden areas. Different routes to get to the bosses. Gosh. Like I said, this isn't about me being very good at these games, it's about the memories. I still have some muscle memory for these games. Taking around that issue of Nintendo Power that came out, that first issue that was free. I forgot how many millions issues that they sent, to households. But it worked because I subscribed to Nintendo Power, reading all the little tips and tricks, the in-depth features. That was a great memory because it was reading about all these levels, how video games, they did all these little features through experimentation of then you get mini games for the first time. Remember this. They had patterns. Oh. For how many coins collected, I had bonus chance games. And there's a pattern once you select it. But okay, for example, you got Luigi, who's slow but can flutter, jump very high. My cat is, oh, ha, ha, ha. I love it. I love it. You like the RPG the best, Super Mario RPG. We'll talk about that when we get to the 16-bit games we might not do in this episode. But yeah, Super Mario RPG has a history as well, a great history. You weren't kidding. This game was hard. Yeah, it was hard. But that was the cool thing, was it was hard, but we kept going. I kept going. I read those magazines. I read, okay, I got to jump here and then I got to move there and I got to jump here. And then you try to do it and you fail, but you had fun doing it. You should have had fun. Yeah, we got frustrated. We always got frustrated, but we kept on playing. But yeah, it was hard because it was something new, because we hadn't seen these type of games before. Whereas nowadays, when we play games, we're kind of familiar with the game structure. Maybe other games have had a certain open world feel or an RPG. There's a formula that we have, an idea. But back then, yeah, it was hard. Whew. We were learning. Every game was a new iteration of something new. Shigeru Miyamoto, Nintendo was experimenting, was putting and also pushing the Nintendo to their limits. That was awesome. My cat is watching you play the game. Hello, cat. You can watch me play this level. Let's see. Who should I use? Throw it in the chat. Mario. Luigi, who jumps very high and kind of glides, but very slow. Toad, super fast, super strong. Mario's the all-around best character. And Princess Peach, Toadstool, who can glide as she plays. So give you all a minute. Throw in the chat which character I should do in this one. During Christmas break, I just played this game. And we just had so much fun playing it. Had my sister playing it. My mom would play it. My friends, we'd go over to each other's house and we'd play. Get on the phone, talk about, oh, did you get to this level? Did you get to that level? Back then, you had that community. You were reading the magazines where you would talk about, oh, let's see. Oh, did you find this? Just reading all this stuff. Okay, haven't gotten a response yet on which character to put in, so I'm just going to show you Princess Toadstool. You got to tell me, the cat, which character would you like me to do? And how many times did we fall off not knowing what we had to do for this level? Because where do we go? See, she floats. Don't tell me I'm going to have to spawn it. There he is. Trying to figure out when enemies come down. That was added into from the Japanese version to the American, losing a health bar and then becoming small. Going into subcon. These coins giving you extra chances. I'm not going to spend too much time because I want to get to probably the biggest game on the Nintendo. Grab the key. Uh-oh. Okay, those faces there, those were actually made for the Doki Doki celebration. So like I was saying, everything in this game was for a tie-in for a festival in Japan. And I wish I had some more information about this festival. You can find it on Video Gaming Historian has a great feature about Super Mario Brothers 2 and Doki Doki Panic. There's been so many great YouTube videos that have been talked about this game. And certain characters, when you use the different character, ouch. When you use different characters. Now the mushroom's going to be on the other side that I can't get to. You can take different routes because you have different characters, different skills. Oh, that was great. My cat got bored and went to sleep. Well, can't please every cat. Backtracking, sometimes not going forward was the answer, where we had to do some backtracking in this game to find the hidden stuff, to maximize your coins. I just really like this because it was still fast paced, you still were able to play, and I'm gonna oops. Okay, let's see if I can at least get one life. I'm gonna actually try this time. If I at least get a cherry, I get something. Come on, cherry. Gosh darn. That's Super Mario Brothers 2, some of the history. Okay, Nintendo, let me out. Let me out. There we go. Let's see what you've put in there. Cat got bored and went to sleep. Love Toad and Yoshi. Yes, Toad. The character's Toad. And then Yoshi, who'd make Yoshi's debut in Super Mario World. They actually wanted to put Yoshi in one of the earlier games. Shigeru Miyamoto wanted a dinosaur game. Wanted a dinosaur in the games, but because of the system limitations, they weren't able to do much. Yeah, we're going to get to that one. It's amazing how frustrating it was to beat bosses when you didn't know the pattern. Then it was so easy once you figured it out. Yeah, there was so much trial and error with these games where everything was pretty much new because we've never seen it before. We get to certain bosses that first time and you want to go right in and just try to beat them. But then you had to pull back a little bit because they changed their patterns, or you'd see the same boss. You start to, as you start playing these games over and over, you start learning these patterns. But those first few, 10, 20, 100 times, it was so hard to beat a boss. Remind me to talk about Mike Tyson's Punch Out when I fought Mike Tyson. That was something. And yes, the feature presentation, Super Mario Brothers 3. That game Released in February 12th, 1990 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This was the game that we all waited for as a kid. This was the game that I feel, this was the biggest Nintendo release up to that point, and arguably this was the game that kind of solidified video games for everyone. It wasn't a passing fad when it came to it. When you started reading, when I started reading into magazines about Super Mario Brothers 3, this was the time when magazines like Electronic Gaming Monthly, Game Pro, Nintendo Power started showing features on what was coming out from Japan. They had articles about Super Mario Brothers 3 because back then there was a lead time of like 18 months to 2 years between games that were made in Japan, were brought out for the Famicom, the Japanese Nintendo Entertainment System, and brought over to America because they had to translate. They had to make it easier, harder. A lot of references were changed, but they started building the hype for it, for Super Mario Brothers 3. I remember reading it in magazines like EGM, seeing all these pictures, seeing all this new stuff that they added to the game. It was a true sequel to Super Mario Brothers 1. Shigeru Miyamoto and team took everything that was great about Super Mario Brothers and better graphics, better sound, more gameplay, more hidden items to find, more sense of adventure. The marketing for this game, when you saw the commercial and it was Mario, Mario, and it started zooming out and you see all these kids chanting Mario, Mario. Then you had the Planet Up and it was Super Mario Brothers. This game was, to me, was the best Nintendo Entertainment System game. So much replay of playability, finding the hidden stuff. When I got it for Easter of that year. I had played it over at a friend's house, read magazines, but I got it for Easter, my Easter basket. I went crazy. I kept on playing. I read all the Nintendo Powers. You start exploring because there were so many tips and hints and secrets to find in the game, just in that first level alone. And let me read to you what it says on Super Mario Brothers 3 on the Nintendo site, and then also, as you saw on our Nintendo game. The Mushroom Kingdom has been a peaceful place thanks to the brave deeds of Mario and Luigi. The Mushroom Kingdom forms an entrance to the Mushroom World where all is not well. Bowser has sent his 7 children to make mischief as they please in the normally peaceful Mushroom World. They stole the royal magic wands from each country in the Mushroom World and used them to turn their kings into animals. Mario and Luigi must recover the royal magic wands from Bowser's 7 kids to return the kings to their true forms. Goodbye and good luck. Say, said the princess and Toad as Mario and Luigi set off on their journey deep into the Mushroom World. Okay, and the game description. Bowser and the Koopalings are causing chaos yet again, but this time they're going beyond the Mushroom Kingdom into the 7 worlds that neighbor it. I was reading that the first time in the book on Nintendo Power. Whoa, you mean that Super Mario Brothers 1, there's more worlds? Yeah, there's a lot more worlds. Now Mario and Luigi must battle a variety of enemies, including a Koopaling in each unique and distinctive world on their way to ultimately taking on Bowser himself. Lucky for the brothers, they have more power-ups available than ever before. Fly above the action using the Super Leaf, swim faster by donning the frog suit, or defeat enemies using the Hammer Brothers suit. Use the overworld map to take the chance to play a minigame in hopes of gaining extra lives or to find a Toad House where you can pick up additional items. So yeah, we had mini games really for a lot of mini games in this Super Mario game. And that was cool because there were so many different mini games and patterns that you could figure out. All this and more combines into one of the gaming's most well-known, beloved titles. Are you ready to experience gaming bliss? Well, yes, I am. Let's play it. Oh. The first time you heard the music, you saw this overworld screen, which was new for a Super Mario game. I was amazed. I was, whoa, there's so many levels that you can move back and forth from. I like reading about the behind the scenes on what goes into making these games, and reading all the in-depth features from Nintendo Power, EGM, about all the different techniques that they used to make a game like this. You look back and you kind of take for granted, because the experience is so awesome, just the limitations on what they had to work with. So it really boils down to getting the most out of what they had and making an experience that at the end of the day is so much fun. Oh, there we go. That kids, young kids, everyone of all ages can enjoy. Being able to fly that first time, finding these hidden areas, experimenting, because now you had different power-ups. And also remembering from previous games that when there's a warp pipe, you can kind of go down to it. These first stages of these games are made to really get the player into learning the mechanics of the game. And that's Shigeru Miyamoto, when they made these games, because they were new, you would experiment, but it made it very inviting, and then they would gradually increase the difficulty of the level. So you want to get frustrated. I mean, we still always have levels of frustration, but you would start to be able to experiment as hitting that power up and then being able, if I had my coins there. Oh, oops. Getting up to that pipe and there'd be a warp area. Also, this was new for the Mario game, being able to backtrack. See if I can get to fly. Oops. The risk-reward ratio of trying new things. And I knew that was going to happen, but hey, what the heck. Need to get through this second level. And so my experience with Mario, when this game came out, it truly was the definitive Mario experience up until that time. And it really was, to me, the definitive video game experience. You had all these levels, you had all these secret areas to explore. You were rewarded for exploring. It just was awesome. The one complaint I will have about the games back then was there was no save progress, in terms of you'd have to start over. You couldn't save your game to come back. So we'd sit in front of the, I'll be honest, I know I did, sit in front of the TV screen for hours playing these games because you wanted to get farther in them. And so when it came time to doing things like homework, I'll be honest with you, Yeah, I wasn't doing homework. I was sitting in front of the Nintendo playing my Super Nintendo or playing my Nintendo. Now here's what I'm talking about. The first time I got to these branching ideas, okay, I could go here. I could just go to World 4 or, oh, what's this? Hit it. There's Toad. And, oh, okay. Nope, missed it. And if I would have matched that up, I would have got a 1-up. I'll go... Let's do a mini boss and we'll wrap this up. Let me know in the comments here. What is your experience? Do you remember playing this game? Because Super Mario Bros. 3, maybe when it wasn't released, but Super Mario Bros. 3 has been on a lot of systems since then, re-releases. It's been remade on the Super Nintendo. We'll get to that in another episode. Figuring out the patterns. Ah. Now, if I had the raccoon tail, I would have been able to fly up and get a flute. Finding that out for the first time. And I'll be honest, causing a little anxiety there when you see this if I go real fast. Releasing new tracks, backtracking. Ooh, now I'm into a different area. Snow level. Means I can... different ways to go. I just was amazed when I played this game. I really... And now being able to look back at it, seeing how long it took to make this game, what they put into the time and effort. But back as a kid, oh, I love this. This was one of my inspirations of wanting to become a video game player, getting into the game industry. When you see these designs, you see the art, it just was awesome to me. I can't stress that enough. It just was cool and just had so much fun playing them. And that's what I remember when talking with my mom, talking with friends my age, just these first times playing these Super Mario games, seeing the action figures. How many of you remember Captain Lou Albano having the Super Mario Hour, seeing the cartoons on Saturday mornings, all the merchandise that came out, Happy Meals. It was great because I started to realize, hey, video games are not a passing fad. They're here to stay. And my 8-bit Christmas Nintendo memories, Super Mario Bros. 3 was... Let's go one step further with that, Jeremy. Super Mario Bros. 3 was beyond its time. Let me get off... Let me... And I'm going to throw that in here again. Super Mario Bros. 3 was beyond its time. How many games were influenced by the Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and particularly 3, the game mechanics that we still see to this day, some 30 odd years later, the Super Mario Brothers 3 mechanics on how to make a very good game. You kind of look back at the classics. Super Mario Brothers 3 is definitely a case of how to make a great game that you can go back and play over and over again and still have that great experience, still be taken back to when we were kids. And you saw that I had 9 minutes already playing this, but you could go back to this game. You could have fun. It's still challenging to this day. It was beyond its time. It still holds up. These memories that I'm talking about, my Odyssey with Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, was that progression of experimenting, having fun, listening to the great graphics at the time blew me away, reading the music, the art, the level of difficulty. Sometimes you didn't even want to play. You wanted to watch someone else play. So you got to sit back and relax and just take in everything that was awesome. Now we have games when we play these on the Nintendo Mini systems that came out, which I know in our community, my Aunt Jean has one. Her Nintendo Mini, she could not wait to get one. She got one because she wanted to play Zelda 2, and classic games. And then she was excited because the Super Nintendo Mini came out. She got one that first day because it represented just a great gameplay experience. That's what's awesome about being able to play these older games and having a new generation play them. And for us to talk about them, my experiences, you can tell I'm very excited talking about these games with you and being able to play them and hearing your experiences. Josh just threw in there. He forgot about Captain Lou playing Mario. Quite a leap to go from him to Bob Hoskins to Chris Pratt. Yes. And don't forget, we had other iterations of the Super Mario cartoon. How about the voice of Mario when they started to give him a voice in Super Mario 64? That definitive, "It's a me, Mario." You can hear that in your head to this day. I'm my 8-bit Christmas, my 8-bit memories of playing these Super Mario Brothers games. It was a time in 1986, 87, a time in 1988, a time in 1990 when Mario captivated me, playing these games, seeing Mario on cereal boxes, going through playing a neighborhood video tournament and winning first place for getting the highest score on Super Mario Brothers. It was so much fun to see a movie like 8-Bit Christmas come out and capture that excitement. Now, for parents, I'm sure there wasn't a lot of excitement. You had to look for those games. My mom told me the story. I'm going to end with this one. My mom told me the story of Super Mario Brothers 2 had come out, and Legend of Zelda 2 came out at the same time. She was at Kmart and at the store that day, and both games had came out. She held back Super Mario Brothers 2 to give to me for Christmas, but she gave me Zelda 2 that day. And the reason she gave me Zelda 2 is because she was a fan of Zelda 1, and she wanted to play that game. That's a great memory that I have. Also playing it that day, and then my friend came over that day and didn't even know I had it. It just literally came over after school. And he was excited beyond belief of getting that, seeing that game that first time. And that's the magic for me. Super Mario's impact on pop culture, Nintendo's impact on pop culture, having these great memories and being able to talk about that in the community. Let's go to a comment. Can't wait for tomorrow. Red Notice on Netflix. Also Jungle Cruise and Shang-Chi on Disney Plus. Exactly. We're going to get some great content to watch over the weekend. Tomorrow also too, I believe there's a certain movie. Is it next weekend? Is it this weekend? Is it next? Ghostbusters Afterlife is coming out. I'm going to go watch that and meet up with Delve community. We're going to go watch it. Jeremy Holder, if you're available on Monday, come watch the movie with us. Let's just have fun and get out and celebrate this movie. I want to thank everyone for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and just thank you for allowing me to take this trip to memory lane down with the Nintendo Entertainment games of yesteryear. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe with us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I want to say, enjoy pop culture, keep playing, keep having fun, and delve on. We'll see you next time. Let me know in the comments. I might do a follow-up for this game series. Cover the 16-bit Super Nintendo Mario games on the next episode. Talk to you then. Bye.